correspondent Adam Easton is in Warsaw. He explains the comments from President Duda, which came in that interview with a British newspaper.
The United States transferring some of the nuclear warheads it has already in Western Europe to Poland, which is the eastern flank of NATO, of course, Poland is a member of, was obvious. He said that Poland and other Eastern European countries joined NATO in 1999, 26 years ago, and it's high time that those weapons, NATO infrastructure, as he exactly said in the quote, should be moved to NATO's eastern flank. Now, he also pointed out that President Putin in 2023, when he deployed tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, which neighbours Poland, he didn't seek anybody's permission for that and just went ahead and did it.
We're joined live by Major General Karol Dymanowski, who is the Chief of the General Staff of the Polish Armed Forces. Major General Dymanowski, welcome to BBC News. This suggestion by President Andrzej Duda of moving nuclear warheads to Poland, you know that it would be seen as extremely provocative by Moscow. Is this even feasible?
First of all, good morning. Thank you very much for having me. And nuclear deterrence and nuclear weapon is always very sensitive and highly political issue to debate on. So I didn't want to deep dive into this topic, but I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that we have been observing, we have been hearing a very aggressive nuclear rhetoric from Russia for many years. So I think it is fair for NATO and for the US to rethink, reconsider the nuclear posture and possibly nuclear options in the face of the very aggressive policy of Russia. And of course, we as the frontline nation here in Poland, to fund of NATO, we are also very closely watching the different moves and announcements by Russian political leaders and military leaders. And that is why sometimes we're very vocal about rethinking the approach to Russia in NATO.
I know that Poland, of course, has been marking its anniversary of NATO membership. Today, NATO's head, Mark Rutte, is meeting with Donald Trump in Washington. And all of this comes amid reports that Donald Trump is considering a major policy shift of the US partnership with the alliance. Can you tell us, is NATO's future assured?
Well, to begin with, the strategic pivot, the strategic focus of the US administration into Indo-Pacific region is neither new nor surprising. It has been communicated by the consecutive US administrations for many years. So we Europeans shouldn't be surprised, or it should be a revelation for us. With that comes a need for us to take more part and more responsibility for deterrence and defense here in Europe. And that is why Poland has been very active and we have been building up our forces and modernizing our forces just to meet this requirement. And of course, the US, they have many unique and critical military capabilities, which are extremely important for the alliance. And that is why I think this transatlantic EU and European American cooperation is a bedrock of our unity, of our credibility, and at the end of the day, our security. And at the military level, we haven't got any influence of some dynamism we can observe at the political level.
I just wonder, without the US within NATO, can NATO function?
Well, that's the worst case scenario, and I don't think it is a realistic and feasible scenario. We will do at most to maintain this cooperation with the US because this is the bedrock of the alliance, and it is a strategic partner for Poland. And so far, as I said, we haven't received any negative signals from our US partners about cutting off the supply and cutting off our weapons deliveries we have already procured in the United States or elsewhere.
Poland is expected to increase spending to at least 4.7% of its GDP, one of the highest spenders on defence. Can Poland afford this amount?
Yes, we can afford, and we have to afford, because it is absolute necessity with the current political situation and with our geographical location. So we have to develop our armed forces and increase the number of our troops. And it is not about being bellicose, but it is about being a credible actor, and it is mainly about preventing the potential conflicts. So it is all about deterrence. And what is important when we talk about increasing the defense budget, there is a general consensus across our political scene and across our society that we should spend more on our defense. And of course, deterrence is not cheap. 4.7% of GDP is not cheap, but still it is better to pay now to prevent conflict than later drown in sky-high cost of war. So, in other words, action is always much more expensive than showing readiness for action.